and the jumbo size, and then there's a size for your garbage can to keep that nice and clean, and a big strong size to carry out the trash in, and then there's a lawn and leaf size. The thing about baggies is that baggies has a rough surface so that they're easy to handle, and baggies are so strong. So what do you say you and I get our money's worth and use baggies? Hi there, folks. How's the world treating you today? This is Glendora, housewife looks at the news. Well, there's a lot of controversy in the news today about the Concorde jet landing in the United States because it's so noisy. Do you think the Concorde jet is too noisy to land in the United States? It is pretty noisy. As a matter of fact, you can almost hear it above the New York City taxicab horns. Well, I guess that the World Trade Center is back in the news again today. Every time you hear the World Trade Center, do you think what I think? Every time you hear the World Trade Center, do you dream, for what world are we going to trade this one? Well, I guess that George Bush, has finally replaced Colby at the CIA. But poor Colby, he realized himself that after all those investigations that he would be bushed. President Ford was dancing with Pearl Bailey in the White House. Did you see that film clip on the television news? President Ford's a very good dancer, don't you think? In fact, it was only, 2 or 3 months ago that we saw him doing that new dance in the White House called the Shuffle. Glendora, Housewife Looks at the News, is brought to you by Pond's Cold Cream. This is the pure ingredient cold cream, folks. It's so pure that you can use it around your eyes. Pond's Cold Cream doesn't irritate your skin, it doesn't irritate your eyes, and it cleanses deep down. You know, it gets out that stubborn makeup. Pond's Cold Cream makes your skin feel soft and moist. I've been using it for years. Pond's Cold Cream, the pure ingredient cold cream. Hi there, everybody. How are you today? This is Glendora, a housewife looks at the news. I know that you think my haircut's pretty wild, but listen. It's really great, though, if for my pots and pans, if I forget where I put the steel wool. I don't think that Congress is going to do much for us housewives about the hard water. Is water hard in your house? The water in our house, folks, is so hard, you have to chew it before you can swallow it. One good thing we've got coming in the news these days is the automobile sales are a lot better, and it's pretty encouraging. Things were pretty bad there for a while, didn't you think? And particularly for Chrysler. Right? It looked like there for a while that Chrysler was going to make out an application for a grant from the Ford Foundation. What do you think about the telephone rates are going to go up, but that's not too bad. Do you think, folks, you know, if the telephone rates go up in an election year, that's a good thing. If the telephone rates go up in an election year, maybe that will remind the politicians that talk isn't cheap. This has been Glendora, a housewife looks at the news, and it's been brought to you by Rich's Coffee Rich. This is terrific. It's completely non-dairy, 0 cholesterol, and you can, for a half an ounce, it's just 20 calories. Rich's Coffee Rich for your coffee, and on fruit, and on cereals, and you can use it in your cooking. Boy, I do. It's terrific. You can make wonderful cakes and pancakes and cookies. Use it in your cooking all the time. Rich's Coffee Rich. 0 cholesterol and just 20 calories, a half an ounce. Hi there, everybody. How are you today? This is Glendora, a housewife looks at the news. Did you hear what Earl Butz said about the current food stamp plan? He says the food stamp plan is an incentive for Americans not to work. But look at, most Americans are like you and me. We don't need an incentive not to work, it's an instinct. And did you hear about Alan Greenspan? Well, Alan Greenspan is President Ford's chief economic advisor. What do you say you and I write a letter to Alan Greenspan and say, Alan, how come the green we get on payday doesn't span as much as it used to? The report is that Cher and Greg Allman might split up. So in the future, Cher may not be Allman, but she'll certainly be all woman. I had a ride on a Greyhound bus, folks. It would have been a nice, smooth and quiet ride, except Evel Knievel was riding all over the roof. This has been Glendora, a housewife looks at the news, and thanks for sitting down and thinking these things over. Depressed thinking about New York City's finances?
Yes, I most certainly do. I think most people in New York that have any civic pride, I think they would be depressed over the situation because...
Hi!
Hello.
How are you today?
Very good.
Do you get depressed when you think of New York City's finances?
I get very depressed. I think that it's totally uncalled for. I think that the federal government should definitely give us some money because New York City should not be allowed to go bankrupt the way it's going right now.
Yeah. Right. You live right in Manhattan, don't you?
I live right in this building right over here.
Yeah, that is in Manhattan, yeah. Well, how are you today?
I'm very fine. How are you?
Oh, good, thank you. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, indeed. It's delightful.
Would you tell us if you're depressed by New York City's finances?
I'm very depressed. I foresaw this. Anybody could see. Wastefulness, corruption.
Yes.
Nobody gave a darn about what was happening to the money.
Do you get depressed when you think about New York City's finances?
Well, since it's supposed to be going bankrupt, it scares me. But, you know, I just ask my father every night where we go. My father is always explaining it to me.
Well, good for you for doing that. Listen, thanks for talking to us.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi there. Hi. You're rushing around getting all kinds of things done, aren't you?
Uh-huh. I'm getting my shopping done.
Then that's a good time to ask you this question. Are you depressed by New York City's finances?
Everybody's finances depress me.
Mostly your own, huh?
Yes,
Yeah, right.
yes.
Yeah, right. You live in Manhattan?
No, I live in Brooklyn Heights. I work in Manhattan.
I see.
Yeah.
You think New York City will get out of it? Oh.
Eventually, probably
Eventually.
faster than I'm going to get out of mine.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Very well today. Just a little tired, just got off from work, but other than that, I'm fine.
My goodness, you don't look tired at all. We wouldn't know if you hadn't told us.
Yes?
Are you depressed by New York City's finances?
Well, in some sorts that it is kind of depressing upon me because it puts a little worry into me on the kind of my family situation.
With Glendora, the big fort.
But they're required to make sure that everything is played according to Top Warner rules and regulations. The weigh-ins, make sure the boys weigh in properly, that they make the weights, that they're not overweight or underweight, that the ages are there. They have their doctor's certificate allowing them to play.
You mean they're all PhDs?
Very good. Not all of them.
The Sweet Adelines Society.
Now they have some courses over in England, the Panama Canal Zone, right? Canada. We're all over. In fact, in '76, the International Convention will be over in England.
It will?
And we're hoping that we get the opportunity to go.
On the 200th anniversary of the freedom of the United States, they're going to have their anniversary in England?
Well, we'll have to see about that.
A teenage.
Really fine, capable people, and it also left them with, you know, fine feelings of responsibility.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, we really do like to emphasize the prevention and that it's really important that that people learn to understand one another and how to accept each other and these kind of other skills
like
I
the old
mentioned.
saying, an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure.
Exactly.
'Cause it's
How long
much-
have you been a gold miner?
A gold miner? Well, my boss thinks forever. And my husband thinks forever. No, what is a gold miner?
Well, you said before you were a miner. I thought you meant a gold miner. So I thought I'd kind of caught some.
No, I meant I was under 21.
Oh, I thought so.
Or under 19. Which is a minor nowadays?
I don't know.
A volunteer.
That's Ernie's son off to the right.
Association.
Ernie with the hat on. Ernie Higgins, Dr. Ernest Higgins with the hat.
Right. One of our local dentists.
He should know a lot about a hole-in-one.
That's right, he should.
I have to listen to this all the while, you know. This has got to be Steve Muller, is that right?
Yeah. Sure.
Women and modeling agencies.
This, the form, and when they have done this, it will then determine the hairstyles that they're either limited or unlimited with.
One more thing, folks. I was thinking, you know, when Bob was talking about Irma Nordquist and doing the yoga, I thought if the people did the yoga without their clothes on, that'd be Yoga Bear.
She's a comedian, too.
No, it's the only way I can get through it all, folks. Well, breastfeeding, next week.
Advantages of breastfeeding to the mother and the baby is the first.
That's the first
series.
Oh, that's the first. The advantages of breastfeeding
to the mother and the baby, and then this.
Like for the benefit of new people or something.
Yeah. And you know, if you start out like in your first month of pregnancy, you hit it twice, and you know, and the second time.
You hit it twice. That means you're going to have twins.
No.
We're having an arts and crafts program for the summer. And this young boy, he was 14 years old, and he was around helping me. He was so alert, and he was so helpful, and he worked so hard, you know. These are all things you don't find. And so I was very impressed by him. So I said, well, won't you come down, and I'll teach you how to cable cast. So he came down to the studio, and I was teaching him, and he's so bright-eyed, you know, ready laughter, and, you know, smiling all the time. And there was a moment when everything was going fine, when we were cable casting, and I said to him, have you given any thought as to what you'd like to pursue as a career? And with the same bright smile, you know, those bright eyes, he says, yes, I'm going to be a mortician. Chat with everybody in business.
On Saturday, August 21st at 9 p.m., the Jets meet Houston. That's live Jets action, Saturday at 9 p.m.
Hi there, everybody. How are you today? This is Glendora. A cheerful look at the news. Has President Ford told you yet who his vice president running mate's going to be? It looks to us, folks, like there's going to be a new entry in the Guinness Book of Records. Who can keep a secret longer, Gerald Ford or Daniel Shore? Did you see where President Ford invited his Yale Law School buddies to the White House for lunch? Wasn't that nice? And it didn't say whether he invited the Yale Bulldog to go too, but I guess in case the Yale Bulldog didn't come, he had Earl Butz come. 35,000 rock fans gathered in Buffalo at Rich Stadium, folks, for a concert. Now, that would have been a neat time to slip in the Concord Jet. Who would have heard it? I know the Concord Jet is noisy and all that, but it isn't quite as bad as your son's corduroy pants, right? Now, what do you think of the new lighting at the Statue of Liberty? Do you remember what Emma Lazarus wrote about the Statue of Liberty? Cried she with silent lips, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Hey, she can't talk about my ancestors that way. But we don't care, just as long as every day Bohack Supermarkets brings us, Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. Now, you know what I like about shopping at the Bohack and Village Supermarkets? The stores are big, and they're light, and they're roomy, and they're bright. Now, you know that iceberg lettuce has gone sky high. Well, let's beat that. We can get chicory and escarole, 10 cents a pound, honest to Pete, 10 cents a pound, farm fresh and delicious chicory and escarole at the produce department of any Bohack or Village Supermarket. Because we don't want to fool around with what food is costing us today. We want to make the most of our money. Bohack and Village Supermarkets, your place to supermarket. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi there, everybody. How you doing today? This is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. A minute you and I are having a lot of fun with. Did you read in the New York Daily News that Jimmy Carter is for the family and has come out, quote, 4 square? for the family, unquote. Hey folks, I come from a four-square family, and we're expecting our fifth. Carter has already appointed somebody to be his official advisor on families. We have an official advisor on family in our house. That's my mother-in-law. Listen, that's awful about the school cutbacks in New York, isn't it? The children's education will really suffer, you know, particularly in literature. New York kids are going to grow up thinking that Admiral Hornblower is a taxi driver. Did you read that out in California? Pretty soon you won't be able to go to sleep on a Greyhound bus? That's on account of they're really going to crack down on bus napping out there. And folks, you know those commercials you see for aspirins on television? I think they're really effective, don't you? If you don't have a headache before the commercial, you certainly will afterwards. Glendora, a cheerful look at the news is brought to you every day by Bohack and Village Supermarkets. Bohack and Village Supermarkets have USDA choice beef. Now, how many supermarkets have that? Shoulder, bottom, or top round roast, $1.05 a pound. Tender, juicy, flavored top round London broil, just $1.69 a pound. And folks, drop by the produce department and pick up sweet, juicy, plump, seedless grapes. That's what I am. For 49 cents a pound. You'll find all these specials this week and every week at any Bohack or Village supermarket. It's the place to supermarket, isn't it?
And sunny in Central Park. That's news now. We'll have full details tonight on the 10 o'clock news. I'm Christopher Jones. Thanks for watching. Have a very good afternoon.
Vanity Fair paper towels are heavyweight because they stand up soaking wet. They're 2-ply strong, 2-ply absorbent. Each Vanity Fair paper towel contains over 5,000 tiny drinking cups that soak up spills like a sponge, and you'll love the low price. Vanity Fair 2-ply paper towels, a heavyweight. I think it's your best buy in paper towels today.
Hi there, girls. How you doing today? This is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. A minute you and I are having lots of fun with. Hey, the Daily News had an article how Jimmy Carter is a family man and said that Carter has come out foursquare for the family. Folks, I come from a foursquare family, and we're expecting our fifth. The Daily News also said that Carter has already appointed somebody to be his official advisor on family affairs. We have an official advisor on family affairs at our house, my mother-in-law. That's awful about the school cutbacks in New York, isn't it? The children's education will probably suffer, you know, particularly in literature. And the New York kids will grow up thinking that Admiral Hornblower is some kind of a New York taxi driver or something. Hey, I bet pretty soon people in California won't be allowed to sleep on a Greyhound on account of they're really cracking down on bus napping out there. Those aspirin commercials that you see on TV, I think they're really effective, don't you? If you don't have a headache when the commercial starts, you certainly will when it ends. Glendora, a cheerful look at the news is brought to you every day by Bohack and Village Supermarkets. And folks, Bohack and Village Supermarkets have USDA choice beef. Now, how many supermarkets have that? Shoulder, bottom, or top round roast for only $1.05 a pound. Tender, juicy, top round London broil, just $1.69 a pound. And for dessert, go over to the produce department and get sweet, juicy, plump, seedless grapes, sort of like me, 49 cents a pound. You'll find these specials this week and much, much more at every Bohack and Village supermarket. It's the place to supermarket, isn't it? 5, 4, 3. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi there, everybody. How you doing today? Just miserable, right? Well, anyway, this is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news, and let's hope that helps. What do you think about the fall styles? I think those lovely fancy petticoats are just going to look great over your daughter's blue jeans. And I think that the poncho is still going to be around. I love to wear a poncho, don't you? Yeah, it covers up our paunch. Every day, just about, in the news, you read about a labor dispute that has to be settled by binding arbitration. Well, I had a labor suit that I settled by binding arbitration. I married him. It's really amusing to read the marriage intentions today. You know, in the newspapers in smaller towns, you'll read that so-and-so of 221 Osgood Avenue filed a marriage intention to marry so-and-so of 221 Osgood Avenue. Folks, did you ever wonder what becomes of those little pieces of soap, little bars of soap, when you can't use them anymore? They get so small you can't use them anymore. They end up in hotel rooms. Glendora, a cheerful look at the news is brought to you every day by Bohack and Village Supermarkets. Bohack only sells USDA choice beef, while some other stores only sell lesser grades of beef. All this week at Bohack and Village Supermarket, you'll find sirloin steak, tenderloin removed, only $1.39 a pound, and top round London broil, just $1.69 a pound. And savings in the grocery department, too. Schaefer beer. 6 12-ounce bottles, just $1.19 with any additional $5 purchase and coupon from today's News, Newsday, or Long Island Press. That's today at any Bohack or Village Supermarket. It's the place to supermarket, isn't it?
You know there's no Virginia ham like Hansel and Gretel Virginia ham.
Isn't it beautiful?
Hi there, girls. How you doing today? This is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. What do you think about the new fashions now for the fall? I bet your daughter's just going to look great in all those fancy petticoats over her blue jeans, right? And I think ponchos will still be popular this fall. I'd love to wear a poncho, don't you? It covers up our paunch. Just about every day in the news you hear or read about some labor dispute that has to be settled by binding arbitration. Well, girls, I had a labor dispute that I settled by binding arbitration. I married him. It's really amusing to read the marriage intentions in the newspapers today, isn't it? You read that so-and-so of 221 Osgood Avenue filed a marriage intention to marry so-and-so of 221 Osgood Avenue. Folks, did you ever wonder what becomes of all those little pieces of soap when you can't use them for anything anymore? You know where they go? They go to hotel rooms. Glendora Chat, Cheerful Look at the News is brought to you every day by good old Bohack and Village Supermarkets. And now, ladies, Bohack and Village Supermarket only sells USDA choice beef, while some other stores, you know, sell lesser grades of beef. Now this week, all this week at Bohack and Village Supermarket, you'll find sirloin steak, tenderloin removed, only $1.39 a pound, and top round London broil, just $1.69 a pound. Savings in the grocery department too. Schaefer's. 6 12-ounce bottles, just $1.19 with any additional $5 purchase and a coupon from today's News, Newsday, or Long Island Press. Today at any Bohack or Village Supermarket, it is the place to supermarket, isn't it? In public broadcasting, the Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi there, everybody. How are you doing today? This is Glendora, Cheerful Look at the News. Have you gone through Times Square and seen that big sign on a restaurant there, popular prices? I know what you're thinking. No prices these days are popular. Can you make a pound cake, a really good pound cake? I love pound cake, and we know why they call it pound cake, don't we? It's a pound here, and it's a pound here, and it's a pound here. What kind of deodorant do you use? I try to use the same one that the Statue of Liberty uses. No, I use Right Guard. I think it's good, but I think they should have one for the left arm too, don't you? You know, folks, you still read in the newspaper these days about people getting Fulbright scholarships. That's wonderful. Do you think your son will get a Fulbright scholarship? You'd probably be happy if you just got a half-bright scholarship, right? This is Glendora, Cheerful Look at the News, and it's brought to you every day by Bohack and Village Supermarkets, who's trying to do something every day to cheer us all up. Girls, this is summertime, right? And this is salad time. Now, do you like good prices? And do you like farm fresh produce? Well then, at every Bohack and Village Supermarket this week, you can get escarole and chicory, farm fresh and delicious, for 10 cents a pound. Honest to Pete, 10 cents a pound, farm fresh chicory and escarole. And then to go with it, you can get Tetley tea for delicious, refreshing iced tea, 100 bags for 99 cents. 100 bags, that's what your husband calls your PTA meeting, right? USDA choice shoulder, bottom, or top round is just $1.05 a pound. That's this week at Bohack or Village Supermarkets. Hooray! It is the place to supermarket, isn't it? Hi, this is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. Have you been through Times Square and seen that restaurant has a big sign on it that says popular prices? I know what you're thinking. No prices these days are popular. And did you, are you any good at making a pound cake? I'm terrible. But we love them, don't we? We love pound cake. And we know why they call it a pound, right? Because it's a pound here, and a pound here, and a pound here. What kind of deodorant do you use? I try to use the kind that the Statue of Liberty uses. No, I use Right Guard. I think it's pretty good, Right Guard. But I think they should have one for the left arm, too, don't you? You know, in the newspapers, you're still seeing where people get Fulbright scholarships. Would you like to have your son get a Fulbright scholarship? I bet you'd be happy if you just got a half-bright scholarship, right? Glendora, a cheerful look at the news is brought to you every day by Bohack and Village Supermarkets. They're trying real hard to put a little bit of cheer in your life each day. Now, girls, it's the summertime and it's salad time, right? You like good prices, and you like specials, and you like farm fresh produce? Well, look, at every Bohack and Village Supermarket this week, you get escarole and chicory, just 10 cents a pound. Honest to Pete, escarole and chicory, 10 cents a pound. It's farm fresh. And to go with it, you have Tetley tea for delicious, refreshing iced tea, 100 bags for 99 cents. 100 bags is what your husband calls your PTA meeting. USDA Choice Shoulder, bottom or top round, is just $1.05 a pound. That's at Bohack or Village Supermarket all week long. Hooray! Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, girls. How you making out today? This is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. Yesterday, I was talking to a man who was a general manager of a car rental agency, and I asked him what kind of cars that he rented, and he said Ford. I bet one customer he'll never have is Ronald Reagan. Listen, George M. Steinbrenner III still has a claim against the United States government for $5.4 million in cost overruns on ships his firm built. Do you suppose he has a claim against Billy Martin for the New York Yankee underruns? You don't hear anything from the telephone company these days, do you, about increasing our rates? Well, I think it's kind of good for the telephone company to increase the rates in an election year, don't you? On account of that will remind the politicians that talk isn't cheap. What member of President Ford's cabinet do you think can do crossword puzzles the best? I think it must be Earl Butz, on account of he knows more crosswords than anybody. Have you heard that expression that nature hates a vacuum? Well, something else that hates a vacuum is your stomach. And that's why Bohack Supermarkets, every day, bringing you Glendora, a cheerful look at the news, is a place for you to shop. Here's a really good weekend menu for you. Low cost and high quality. USDA Choice Top Round London Broil, $1.69 a pound. Garden Fresh Escarole Chicory, 10 cents a pound. Farm Fresh Golden Sweet Corn, 10 ears for $1. And for a beverage, folks, you can have iced tea with Tetley tea, 100 bags for 99 cents. Then for dessert, you can have sweet, juicy seedless grapes, they're only 49 cents a pound. And Farm Fresh Jumbo Cantaloupe, 59 cents each. That's a great meal at great savings at Bohacker Village all this week. It's the place to supermarket.
New York Jets 1976 preseason games. On Saturday, August 21st at 9 p.m., the Jets meet Houston. That's live Jets action, Saturday at 9 p.m.
Hey, ladies, how you doing today? This is Glendora, a cheerful look at the news. Yesterday, girls, I was talking to a fellow who is a manager of a car rental outfit, and I asked him, you know, what kind of cars do you rent? And he said Ford. I bet you one customer he won't have is Ronnie Reagan. Listen, George M. Steinbrenner III still has a claim against the United States government for $5.4 million in cost overruns on ships his firm built. Now, do you suppose he has a claim against Billy Martin for the New York Yankees underruns? Well, we don't hear anything on the TV about the New York Telephone Company, do we, raising the rates? But you know, it wouldn't be too bad an idea to raise the rates in an election year, do you think? Because then that might remind the politicians that talk isn't cheap. Who do you think is the best person in President Ford's cabinet for doing crossword puzzles? It must be Butz, on account of he knows more crosswords than any of us. Listen, you've heard the expression that nature hates a vacuum. Well, I know something else that hates a vacuum, and that's your tummy. And that's why Bohack Supermarkets, which brings you Glendora a cheerful look at the news every day, is the place for you to village supermarket and food shop. Bohack is a great high-quality, low-cost weekend meal for you folks. It's USDA choice top round London broil, $1.69 a pound. Garden fresh escarole or chicory, 10 cents a pound. Garden sweet corn, 10 ears for $1. And as a beverage, you can have iced tea with Tetley tea, and that's 100 bags for 99 cents. And for dessert, sweet, juicy seedless grapes, 49 cents a pound, and jumbo sweet cantaloupe, 59 cents a pound. It's a great meal. 3400 rewinding, half-inch reel-to-reel. And that's Sony videotape 11 that it's rewinding. That's how you thread it.